banks are at risk of disappearing, becoming obsolete, and being dispensed with in the future. To understand why, we need to know how banks and paper currency work. When you go to the supermarket to buy something, and let's assume your purchases amount to $1,000, and you ask the cashier to pay via Visa. You insert the Visa card into the payment machine. If your bank account actually contains $1,000, the payment will be successful. But if your bank account does not have enough money, the purchase will not go through. So what governs the transaction between you and the cashier in this example? It is the presence of a third party in the buying and selling process, acting as a mediator between the seller and the buyer, which is the bank or credit card companies. Their function is to track balances to prevent fraud or counterfeiting, and to track payment and transfer processes to be quick for the user. This is difficult for banks, so banks charge high fees for transfer operations. Why did I say that these banks are at risk of disappearing? Well, who wants to get rid of this third party or these banks so that transactions are directly and completely securely between the seller and the buyer with zero fees? It is the person who invented Bitcoin, who goes by the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. Okay, but how does the system invented by this mysterious person work? Let's use the same previous example, but instead of using dollars, we will use Bitcoin. If I decide to buy from the supermarket and pay with Bitcoin, who guarantees to the seller that I am not deceiving him or that I actually have real Bitcoin and am not a thief? What will prove that, and how will he ensure that it is real Bitcoin and not fake? There are no banks or credit card companies because Satoshi, in this case, got rid of this third party. Here comes the role of a group of people spread around the world, who can be called miners or validators. Their job, in short, is to make sure that I actually have real Bitcoin to pay at the supermarket and that I am not a fraudster. After verification, the sale transaction is completed. This is one of the thousands of transfer operations that take place every minute. After verifying all these transactions, they are placed in a block and another set in another block, and so on. This chain is known as the blockchain. Each block contains a record of transactions, such as Bitcoin moving from my wallet to the supermarket's wallet. The question here is, what will happen if most people start using digital currencies that work with blockchain? Certainly, banks will gradually disappear. But what do miners or validators gain from ensuring the validity of Bitcoin transactions? What might happen if these people stop mining? Or what will happen when the number of Bitcoins in the world reaches 21 million? Will it collapse? I will talk about all this in a separate video. This was Elias Addison in the Nerd program on the Truth Channel.